Shedeur Sanders, who's now trying to become the first rookie drafted in the 5th round or later to start a season opener since Randy Hedberg did it in 1977. Remember Randy Hedberg, Dan?
I do not.
Neither do I, but he was the last quarterback drafted in the 5th round or later to start a game. Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders' favor to start this season. Remember the last 4th round pick or later to start a game?
It's got to be Dak Prescott, right?
Breaking news. Shedeur Sanders is making waves once again, and this time it's with some truly historic news. According to insider Adam Schefter, the talented quarterback is on track to become just the 40th player in the last 40 years to start for an NFL team after being drafted in the 4th round or later. This is big. Shedeur has been turning heads all season, and now it looks like he's about to prove that he's more than ready for the big leagues. Stick around as we break down what this means for his future, his rise in the ranks, and what we can expect from the young QB as he gets set to make history in the NFL. And here's where things get even more interesting.
Any in the National Football League. They've already started more quarterbacks over the last 26 years than anybody else, an average of almost 2 per season. And there's a real opportunity, a real chance that they'll be starting at least 2, maybe 3 again this year.
According to Adam Schefter, if we take a look at the Cleveland Browns' quarterback history, it's clear they're not exactly known for consistency at that position. In fact, the Browns have used more quarterbacks than any other team in the NFL over the past few decades. On average, they go through 2 QBs per season, and that trend doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. That's exactly why Shedeur Sanders has a very real shot at becoming a starter this season. The odds are stacked in his favor, not just because of his talent, but because Cleveland's quarterback situation is one of the most fluid in the league. So, if you're wondering whether Shedeur will just ride the bench, think again. This could be the perfect storm for him to break through and make NFL history. Adam Schefter also made an interesting comparison. He brought up Dak Prescott, who was selected in the 4th round of the 2012 NFL Draft. Prescott, much like Shedeur, wasn't drafted as the immediate starter for his team, but he proved everyone wrong with a breakout performance that led him to become the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. It's a similar story for Shedeur. Just like Prescott, he has the tools to come in and dominate right from the start. Prescott showed that a 4th round pick could be a game changer, and Shedeur is definitely looking to follow in those footsteps. If he can replicate anything close to Prescott's early career success, the Cleveland Browns will have found themselves a gem who might not just be a starter. He could be their long-term solution at QB.
Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders' favor to start this season. Remember the last 4th round pick or later to start a game?
It's got to be Dak Prescott, right?
Schefter also brought up an important point about preseason games. He mentioned that both Dak Prescott, Matt Flynn, and even Russell Wilson all had one thing in common. They shined in preseason and proved their worth after being drafted later than expected. Dak Prescott, for instance, showed up strong during the preseason and never looked back, ultimately securing the starting role with the Cowboys. The same goes for Flynn and Wilson. They all used the preseason to make a statement and earn the respect of their teams. Schefter's point is clear. Shedeur Sanders has the opportunity to do exactly the same. If he can perform at a high level during the preseason, push himself beyond expectations, and prove that he belongs, there's no reason why he couldn't be the next starting QB for the Cleveland Browns. While Schefter is optimistic about Shedeur Sanders' chances, he made it clear that it's not going to be an easy road. The starting spot is definitely within Shedeur's reach, but it's going to take a once-in-a-lifetime performance for him to truly prove that he's ready to lead the Cleveland Browns. To convince the coaches, the front office, and the fans, Shedeur will need to bring something extraordinary to the field. It's not just about playing well. He's going to need that slam-dunk kind of performance that leaves no doubt in anyone's mind that he's NFL starter material.
I go back to the summer that Dak Prescott did win the Cowboys starting job. came into camp and lit it up in the preseason. I go back to the summer that Russell Wilson was drafted in the 3rd round of the 2012 draft, I believe.
Matt Flynn, right?
Matt Flynn they signed, and Russell came in and lit it up. Now, or Shedeur Sanders can come in and play at that level, which very, very few rookies have done, then sure, the starting job could be within their grasp. But that's the type of performance it would take. A slam dunk, no doubt. Have to start this rookie quarterback type of performance in the preseason.
We're talking about showcasing the kind of talent, leadership, and composure that will make everyone believe that he's the guy to take the Browns to the next level. It's all on the line for Shedeur, and the preseason games are where he'll have to step up and show out. But it's not just Schefter who sees potential in Shedeur Sanders. Dan Orlovsky also weighed in, and his take could be a game-changer for Shedeur's chances. Orlovsky pointed out that Shedeur aligns seamlessly with Kevin Stefanski's vision for the Cleveland Browns offense. In fact, Orlovsky believes that from a technical standpoint, Shedeur is already ahead of where most rookies are, especially when it comes to running a Stefanski-style offense. This is huge. It's rare for a young quarterback to come into the league with such a natural fit for an NFL system, but that's exactly what Shedeur brings to the table. Orlovsky went on to emphasize how fundamentally sound Shedeur is, noting that his ability to read defenses pre-snap, stay balanced in the pocket, and deliver accurate throws on time gives him a real edge over other rookies.
Or 1 to 2 to 3, he's got to do it more quickly, but he's custom made for that. But the way that he thinks and the way that he can see something on the board, take it to a walkthrough, and then bring it to a practice, that's how you win.
In Orlovsky's eyes, Shedeur isn't just learning the system, he's owning it. This is exactly the kind of maturity and composure the Browns need in their quarterback, and it could very well be the perfect match that Cleveland has been searching for. Adding even more fuel to the fire, G. Bush also echoed what Orlovsky said, offering his own perspective on the quarterback competition in Cleveland. Bush believes that the battle for the starting spot may actually be more about managing the locker room dynamic than any real uncertainty about who's ready to start. In his eyes, the coaching staff probably already has a pretty solid idea of who their starting QB is going to be, and all signs point to Shedeur Sanders. When looking at the reps, the execution, and the overall impact during minicamp, Shedeur consistently stood out as the best player on the field. Even though the team continues to call it an open competition, insiders are beginning to see a pattern. Flacco and Sanders are the ones leading the pack, and the gap between them and the others is becoming more and more evident.
First and foremost, he's been the best quarterback he can. Now look, Joe Flacco ain't had many opportunities. There was a whole day I saw he didn't throw the ball at all. Here's my theory on the situation. They already know who's starting in the number 2 is. They already know. Joe Flacco and Shedeur Sanders is already locked up.
Adam Schefter's claim about Shedeur Sanders potentially becoming the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns has sent shockwaves through the NFL world. And for good reason. With the Browns' quarterback situation being in flux for years, the idea of a 4th-round pick taking over the role is both exciting and logical. Schefter points out that, despite Shedeur's draft position, his talent and performance in the preseason could push him into the starting lineup, following a similar path to quarterbacks like Dak Prescott, who was also a 4th-round pick and went on to become a star for the Dallas Cowboys. What makes this claim so compelling is the way Shedeur aligns with the Browns' offensive philosophy. Dan Orlovsky highlighted how Shedeur's natural skills, such as reading defenses pre-snap, staying balanced in the pocket, and delivering precise throws, fit seamlessly with Kevin Stefanski's system. Shedeur isn't just learning the system, he's already showing signs of mastering it. His ability to perform well under pressure and execute in key situations sets him apart from many rookies and makes him a perfect candidate for a starting role. Moreover, the ongoing competition for the starting job, as discussed by G. Bush, reveals that insiders are increasingly confident that Shedeur Sanders is the front-runner. While the Browns have been calling it an open competition, Shedeur's standout performances during minicamp and his undeniable presence on the field have made it clear. He's a quarterback to watch.